Jeff Goldblum, the eccentric and beloved Hollywood actor known for his whimsical charm and philosophical tangents, made a routine appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live to promote his latest indie film, what was expected to be a quirky and delightful exchange turned into a shockingly tense debate that blindsided the live audience and viewers at home. Goldblum, dressed in his signature fashion-forward ensemble, entered the stage with his usual offbeat flair. Kimmel, known for his sarcastic jabs and laid-back hosting style, welcomed him with warmth, even joking about Goldblum's existential fashion sense. The banter was light at first, full of laughter and absurdity typical Goldblum. Things took an unexpected turn when the conversation veered into politics and art. Kimmel teased Goldblum's recent comments on cancel culture, calling them vague and oddly forgiving. Goldblum, clearly not in the mood for satire, responded with surprising sharpness. "I don't think nuance should be punished, Jimmy," he said, his eyes narrowing. The room tensed slightly, but Kimmel kept pressing. What followed was a tense exchange that escalated beyond recovery, ultimately leading to Goldblum being escorted off stage, a moment no one in the studio or at home saw coming. The conversation began drifting when Kimmel brought up an op-ed Goldblum had written in a literary magazine about the danger of binary thinking in modern culture. He basically said we need to forgive more, listen more, Kimmel said, smirking, which sounds nice until you're talking about people who've done real harm. Goldblum, already aware of where this was headed, responded calmly. "Well, I believe in justice, of course, but also in redemption. People aren't statues. They move, evolve. We not allow for that anymore?" Kimmel leaned back, shaking his head. "But don't you think that sounds a bit privileged? Easy for someone like you to say, living in a safe little bubble of fame?" Goldblum raised an eyebrow. "Safe? You assume safety is my default. That's interesting." Kimmel chuckled, trying to soften the mood. "You know what I mean? You're Jeff Goldblum. You wear Prada and talk about space-time on cooking shows? People adore you." But Goldblum wasn't amused anymore. "And yet I'm being flattened here, stripped of nuance for a soundbite." The audience, unsure whether this was scripted, laughed nervously. Kimmel tried to pivot with humor, suggesting Goldblum had gone full philosopher king. Goldblum smiled tightly, but didn't drop the point. "Jimmy, what bothers me is that even on shows like this where people come to connect, share, even be playful, there's an underlying insistence on division. You're either righteous or canceled, hero or villain. That's not how humans work." Kimmel, perhaps feeling the pushback was getting a little too serious, replied, "Yeah, but we don't have time for everyone's gray area in a world full of headlines. People want clarity." Goldblum's tone sharpened. "No, people want understanding. The media just gives them outrage." That line hit differently. It wasn't shouted, just delivered with razor-sharp precision. The audience clapped uncomfortably. Sensing the tension that was now unmistakable, Kimmel chuckled again, more awkwardly this time. "Well, okay, Jeff. That's a little heavy for Thursday night TV." But Goldblum leaned in, undeterred. "Maybe that's the problem. We've decided certain truths are too heavy for casual conversation, so we just avoid them." By now, the energy on set had shifted entirely. Gone was the charming Jasmine persona Goldblum often performs. In its place was a visibly agitated intellectual who seemed unwilling to play along. Kimmel, perhaps caught between salvaging the mood and protecting his platform, began pushing back harder. "You're defending people who've been called out for serious stuff. Isn't that dangerous?" Goldblum interrupted. "I'm defending complexity, not misconduct. That's a crucial distinction you're deliberately ignoring." The word deliberately landed with the force of accusation. Kimmel's expression changed, subtlest, smiling, but now tight-lipped. "Okay, so let's talk specifics. When you say we canceled too fast, who exactly are you talking about?" Goldblum hesitated briefly, then said, "It's not about naming names. It's about creating space for people to evolve. Punishment without pathway is vengeance, not justice." The audience applauded again, this time more confidently, but Kimmel waved his hand dismissively. "So we just give everyone a free pass?" Goldblum shot back, "Did I say that? Or are you just trying to win the argument?" The audience gasped. The tone had shifted from spirited to confrontational. What came next was both surreal and unprecedented. Kimmel, clearly frustrated, said, "Look, if you want to come here and do a TED Talk, maybe you should rent a podium." Goldblum laughed, but it was cold. "And if you want to invite people just to corner them, maybe call it what it is. A courtroom, not a couch." The moment was heavy. The laughter had stopped. The room was still. Producers off camera began whispering, and a stage manager gestured toward the side. Goldblum noticed and stood up slowly. "Out. If you're done with the jazz and only want the scream, then I'm in the wrong room," Kimmel responded. "If you can't handle questions, maybe don't come on a talk show." Goldblum paused for just a second before responding with the words that would echo across the internet. "I came for conversation, not confrontation," masquerading as wit. Then he unhooked his mic and calmly exited stage left. The audience, unsure whether it was real, sat frozen. Kimmel looked straight into the camera, blinked, and said, "We'll be right back." Before the feed cut to commercial, social media exploded within minutes. Hashtags like #GoldblumWalkout, #Goldblum vs Kimmel, and #talkshow tension flooded timelines. Fans of Goldblum praised his refusal to participate in what they saw as performative confrontation. Critics argued that Goldblum was being overly sensitive and couldn't take a little pushback. Memes popped up almost instantly, one with Goldblum's face photoshopped onto a storming general, another showing Kimmel holding a cancel hammer. Within hours, YouTube had dozens of re-uploads of the walkout, each with millions of views. Major news outlets picked up the story. Think pieces emerged almost overnight. Was Goldblum right? Has late night lost its way? The death of nuance on TV? Meanwhile, neither Goldblum nor Kimmel made an official statement that night. ABC's only comment was a vague acknowledgement. Tonight's episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live included an unexpected interruption. We support open dialogue. But clearly, that dialogue had crossed into something raw, something viewers couldn't. Look away from the next day. Jimmy Kimmel addressed the incident briefly on his show. "Last night got a little weird," he said. "Jeff Goldblum and I disagreed. He chose to leave. It's his choice. I wish him well." He didn't apologize. Nor did he take a victory lap. But the audience sensed it. Something had changed. Goldblum, on the other hand, posted a cryptic Instagram story showing a book titled The Ethics of Ambiguity by Simone de Beauvoir and captioned it, "The Search Continues." Fans took it as a subtle affirmation of his stance. Cultural commentators debated whether Goldblum's exit marked a line in the sand. Was it the moment people said enough to clickbait conversations? Or was it just another example of a celebrity unable to handle scrutiny? Depending on your lens, it was either a masterclass in standing firm or a meltdown cloaked in intellectualism, but no matter where you landed, you were talking about it. And that, perhaps, was the point. Meanwhile, Goldblum's film benefited immensely from the exposure. Trailers were recirculated with renewed interest, and streaming platforms saw a surge in pre-saves. The film, ironically titled Unspoken, became a symbol for the very tension Goldblum had tried to articulate on air, the loss of subtlety in public discourse. Critics revisited his performance, praising the layers he brought to the role. Some said his real-life walkout was more captivating than the film itself. Hollywood, always sensitive to viral energy, took notice. Directors and showrunners began quietly reaching out to Goldblum, curious to work with someone who clearly wasn't afraid to disrupt the script. Meanwhile, Kimmel's team reportedly held internal meetings about booking guests with strong ideological views, unsure if the moment had helped or hurt their brand. The network loved the ratings boost, but not the lingering feeling that something authentic had slipped through their fingers in a space meant for controlled entertainment. As the dust began to settle, the incident transformed into a broader cultural conversation. Podcast panels dissected every line, every facial expression, every mic movement. Scholars weighed in, framing the moment within larger debates about media responsibility and the boundaries of televised discourse. Was Goldblum's walkout a childish refusal or a principled stand? Is Kimmel upholding his role as a late-night provocateur or baiting a guest into outrage? The truth, as always, lived in the gray. One viral TikTok put it perfectly. maybe they were both right. Maybe that's why it hurt so much to watch. The clip played side-by-side footage of Goldblum's calm exit and Kimmel's frozen reaction. Overlaid was a caption, "When wit meets weariness." Hit a nerve. The internet thrives on drama, but this wasn't simple. It was strange, layered, unresolved, and that's why it stuck.